Pokémon Go is one of the most popular mobile games ever made. With nearly 1 billion downloads across the entire globe, it is a gaming masterpiece. And naturally, other gaming studios have seen this and attempted their own version of the game. Even if you haven't heard of them, there are many that existed. And today, we check out a few. Starting with probably the most famous of them all, Draconius Go. Draconius Go was released back in October of 2017 and was by far the most obvious Pokémon Go copycat. I mean, just look at the gameplay. It's like literally the same thing. And the features weren't all that different either, except there were a few key features that Draconius Go introduced way before Pokémon Go did, and at the time it caused quite a bit of buzz within the Pokémon Go community. In Draconius Go, you weren't a trainer, you were a wizard. The creatures spawning in the wild were called, well, creatures. And like Pokemon Go, you had a nearby that actually showed you exactly where the creature spawned, which is super helpful, and this is a big difference even to today's Pokemon Go tracking. Today in Pokemon Go, when tracking a Pokemon, it shows you which Pokestop that Pokemon is by. In Draconius Go, it literally showed you where it was, I think, which is lit. And there was literally a way to enter the upside down, as if you were in Stranger Things. And by doing that, finding completely unique creatures. You essentially found a portal location and entered it, sending you into a rift. This completely changed not only the look of your screen, but also the creatures you encountered and the catch screen environment. Honestly, really cool feature. There were pillars of abundance that acted as Pokestops, arenas which were like gyms, and a couple of unique buildings like obelisks, libraries, and Mother of Dragons. The game had items that did different things like lure in creatures, heal your team, increase certain item drop rates, and like we previously mentioned, there were a couple of key features that Draconius Go had at the time that Pokemon Go did not. The main one being PvP. Yes, the game had PvP. Now, it wasn't perfect, but neither is Pokemon Go's, and it's 2022, so. And this was the main thing that riled up Pokemon Go players when Draconius Go came out. Not because they were mad at Draconius Go for being an obvious copycat, but because they were annoyed with Pokemon Go for taking so long to release such a needed feature. PvPing is like a fundamental part of the Pokemon franchise, and we didn't get it in Pokemon Go until 2020. Two other major features were quests, which you got from visiting an obelisk, and the ability to change the movesets on your creatures, which you could do at a library. Pokemon Go didn't get their quests or field research until 2018, and although Pokemon Go had TMs at the time, it wasn't really the same feel as going and training with and teaching your Pokemon, or Draconius creature, new moves. You can actually still download this game off the App Store, although it seems from their website, their last update was back in June of 2020. Now, Draconius Go was definitely the most famous ripoff of Pokemon Go, but it was not the most interesting. Number 2, Follow JC Go, which stands for Follow Jesus Christ Go. Yes, you heard that right. In October of 2018, a BBC article was published with the title, Catholic Saint-Finding Game Follow JC Go wants to rival Pokemon Go. And they tried. Even the Pope was apparently aware of the app at the time and a fan of it. Follow JC Go was made by a Catholic evangelical group in preparation for World Youth Day 2019, assumingly to help the religion seem more hip and fun for younger kids. The game required you to explore around and find saints instead of Pokemon, and if you found a saint, you didn't battle them, thank gosh. You could actually recruit them to your evangelization team, it was called, by answering correct, biblically oriented questions. Your in-game health was influenced by the amount of water, food, and spirituality you had, which you could find by walking around to POIs like Pokestops and other places. The game also encouraged real-life prayer by promoting players to stop and pray when arriving or walking by real-life churches. And there were ways players could donate to charities through the app. Honestly, kind of cool features trying to integrate real-world prayer and mindfulness with like in-game game mechanics. I could see something cool like this happening in the mental health scene too, sort of. But like, come on. Surprisingly, the game never really took off, but wow, what an interesting attempt. Number 3, Minecraft Earth. Minecraft is one of the most successful names in gaming, so surely they can make a successful Pokemon Go clone, right? Wrong, but they tried. Minecraft Earth was released globally in December of 2019 and was probably the most promising non-Pokemon AR game on the market. The trailers for the game were beautiful and they had quite the marketing push, mainly because they had unlimited money behind the game. It featured all the classic Minecraft gameplay favorites mixed with the real-world AR technology. Players walked around to find tappables, which allowed them to farm resources that they could then use to build. You could also go on adventures, which were spawned using adventure crystals. These journeys let you fight mobs and collect additional resources you could use to build your empire. But there were some massive differences between normal Minecraft and Minecraft Earth that made the game a little bit difficult to enjoy. Minecraft Earth took the whole location-based thing to the next level. A player couldn't go up or down unless a real-world building was there for them to climb or descend. This really took away from the enjoyment of Minecraft Earth because it made it nearly impossible to build super impressive structures like in normal Minecraft, which is what makes the game so much fun. In Minecraft Earth, crafting and smelting took time, sometimes up to hours. Tools and melee weapons had infinite range. Although this game was built on one of the most successful franchises in gaming history, in January of 2021, the end of Minecraft Earth was announced. And on June 30th, the game was gone, never to be played again. But think about how cool this game could have been. Walking down the street to your friend's house and seeing their super amazingly built fortress, then just lining that sucker up with TNT. My friends and I would have taken ding-dong ditching to a whole nother level in this game, but we just never really got into it. Number 4, Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Although this technically wasn't a copycat project because it was made by the same developers of Pokémon GO, it still really had that Pokémon GO feel. In Wizards Unite, it was your job to explore the real world and discover foundables. These could be dragons, Hagrids, Death Eaters, and more. In these encounters, you would wave your wand in a very specific way, casting a spell on whatever you discovered. Honestly, the spell casting was sick. I did have a lot of fun with that. If done correctly, the thing would then be returned and logged into your registry, which you tried to fill out. The registry kind of could be thought of like the Pokédex. When the game launched, there were loads of things to do, which did make it a bit overwhelming for new players hopping in. There were inns players could visit that gave random items, which were like Pokestops, daily quests that acted somewhat like field research, and you could also visit a fortress and enter battles against Death Eaters that ranged in difficulties. These battles were honestly kind of fun, and can be thought of as like a more dynamic raid battle. Wizards Unite did require the user to have a bit of back-end Harry Potter knowledge to really fully appreciate the game. And well, I never really watched Harry Potter back then, but I did eventually, and I love it. It's probably one of my favorite franchises. This part was really different from Pokemon Go because you could not know anything about the Pokemon franchise, hop into Pokemon Go, and absolutely love it. Really simple to pick up, really easy. Pokemon Go was my first ever Pokemon game, and I never really watched the anime as a kid, so it was like my first real Pokemon experience, and you could go back and watch the videos. I got into it quick. But with Wizards Unite, you kind of had to understand the Harry Potter universe to really like get into it and have fun with it. In my opinion, this game was super underrated and actually really well made, but unfortunately wasn't nearly as popular as its Pokemon counterpart. And in January of 2022, the game closed down for good. I still have the app downloaded onto my phone. Number 5, Orna. Orna is a really interesting game because although it is location-based like Pokemon Go, it's an RPG. The game launched about 4 years ago and has maintained a small but really passionate community since. In Orna, you pick your class and head off to battle your way through the world. Monsters will spawn in real-world locations, just kind of like how Pokemon do, except instead of catching, you're straight up throwing hands. Unlike in Pokemon Go, there is no speed cap when finding monsters, so you can play this game just fine while in the passenger seat of a car, which is a super underrated feature. Monster spawns also happen at random around the player, so apparently rural gameplay is much better than Pokemon Go due to more frequent monster spawns. And like with other RPGs, your main goal is to battle your way through mobs and dungeons to level up your character and raid rare items to enhance your skills. And similar to other RPGs, this game is super complex. There are more strategies mixed into the first 2 layers of Orna than the entirety of Pokemon Go, which does make it a bit difficult for new players to really hop in and enjoy. But it's honestly decently made, it has really good reviews in the App Store, and to this day, it still gets consistent updates. Unlike most games on our list today, Orna is still alive. And those are some Pokemon Go clones you won't believe exist. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the other videos on screen because they are also bangers. See you in there.